You can see those squash vine boring bugs got into some of these pumpkins, regardless of all the work I did picking them off and killing the bugs and spraying the stems. This is typical what the leaves look like when you have that problem where they bore into the stem and destroy the veins that carry the water. Plus you can see the discoloration, all the yellow leaves as opposed to this green one. Part of this shoot here is dying there, but I buried it a couple of weeks ago, put some dirt over the stalk, and it has created new roots. So the rest of this is getting nourishment, and it might develop some pumpkin. This was one of the first pumpkins to grow, and it hasn't changed size in a couple of weeks, and you can see the damage that's been done by the squash vine boring bug. It gets into these stems and just destroys it. So most of these are goners, but that's a good pumpkin. These are Big Mac's pumpkins, so that thing should be 5 times the size that is. There's you can see some damage right here where those bugs crawl in there. I dug that one out a couple weeks ago, but it's too late. That worm, I dug it out. So they do a lot of damage real fast. Got some watermelons going here, and looks like that's a cantaloupe. And so this one will be nice to pick when it turns orange. Here's looks like a honeydew melon there. Haven't had any problems with bugs on these melons. Well, not yet, at least. There's some cantaloupe here. So far I only see one that's developing. Well, there's one there, and there's one there. That'll be yummy. A couple of weeks, maybe sooner. These pumpkins here, they've got damage too, but not as bad as over there. These are these should turn orange and be able to pick nice. This one's got some damage starting, but this one too, you can see here. But then back here where it's green, I have buried the shoot, so I've got some roots over here. There's a pumpkin starting there. Maybe that'll come to fruition. So a couple more pumpkins in there. I don't think this little guy's gonna give me anything. And some late blooming sunflower seeds. There's a little pumpkin over there. A couple in there. Turning color. Same thing. A little bit of damage here. There's a nice one there. So anyway, pumpkins are a lot of work when you got those darn beetles and too much work that I want to deal with. So I don't know. I'll grow them next year, but if I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't. My first planting of corn around June didn't grow too well. Small cobs, but they're pretty good. And then these, this I planted June 28th, but I was able to get in here and cultivate. It was so wet in the spring I couldn't do that here, and all the weeds took over. And here I also fertilized the heck out of this with Miracle-Gro water-soluble fertilizer, about 1.25 pounds of fertilizer for about 50 gallons. So that probably helped a lot. Anyway, that's it.